Welcome back from the break. You're still watching NTV Sport Nights. Remember to use the hashtag NTV Sport Nights. We will read some of your messages later on from X. Now, joining us now is a legend himself, Deo Akope, who probably is the most decorated golfer in Uganda with 3 amateur trophies and 2 professional trophies to his name, amongst others, as well as even as a coach. He has a bit of silverware there. Good evening, sir, and welcome.
Thank you very much. Good evening, viewers. Okay.
You're happy to be here, I know. And you've been here before many times.
We are all wearing blue.
Well, you're all wearing blue.
Oh, yeah.
And, as I started, as we met, I was saying, we're going to talk, and focus on Rugumayo, but there is a perception that golf is for old, rich, retired men. That is actually wrong now. I mean, well, when we were kids back in the day, that was the perception. But things have changed along the way. Okay. Right now, if you walk into a golf club, probably you'll just count the old men. You'll just be counting them. Majority of the membership is full of young stuff, young kids and the youth. Okay, and I know we're supposed to talk about the Kenya Magical Open, but what got you into golf? You said when you were kids, it was true then. Mine is a very interesting story because it might need a whole show. Okay, just in 1 minute. Is there someone you saw? Did you have an No, I lived near the golf course in Entebbe. Okay. And my first club was a cassava stick. Oh. That's how it dates back. Actually, the kids who are playing golf now are privileged because there is a lot of equipment out there. At our time, you hardly saw a golf club. But as kids, we loved seeing these guys playing, so we just imitated by getting cassava sticks and making our own balls. Then, of course, eventually we picked, one of our colleagues picked a broken club. Now we graduated from cassava to at least the head of a club tied still on a stick. Then eventually we got some clubs by members in the club in Entebbe, and we were taken up and absorbed in a club, and we were good to go. Yeah, actually, speaking of that, there is this perception that the game of golf is for the rich, but the way you describe your background and starting with a cassava stick makes it very, curious. You arouse someone's curiosity, and one wonders how has been your journey through to professionalism. I can't say it has been sailing. There have been ups and downs, just like any other sportsman or all the legends. I'm telling, in fact, even golf, if you look at guys like the legendary Arnold Palmer's, the Jack Nicklaus's, all those guys, if you read their stories, they started somewhere. Guys would even sleep in the bunker. I don't know if you understand what a bunker is on a golf course. That area where they sun. There is actually, I think it was Arnold Palmer who they said because he was living far from the golf club, so sometimes would sleep there because he wants to get extra time to practice. So it has never been easy. Even within the region, the top players who have had in the region, if you read their stories, they are very interesting stories. They are not coming from really humble backgrounds in the name of golf and all the other sports. Okay, we're talking about Ronald Rugumayo today. He's 31. Yes. He probably hasn't had to come through that, what you've gone through. How significant is this? Maybe you can tell us more about this magical Kenya Open. First of all, the Kenya Open dates back, I was hearing the commentary yesterday, and they said it started in 1967. It used to be a challenge tour event. A challenge tour is, if you look at the premiership, I would use football as an example. There is premiership and championship. Yes. So the challenge tour event was a championship event. Then 2-3 years later, actually, Uhuru, the president, said, but why can't we have the DP tour event here? And government funded it. So they elevated it from that to the DP tour world event. Now, it's a huge event for the region. And it is huge in such a way that the field is over 156 and only 60 plus ties make the cut. So you can imagine how competitive it is. So
anybody who makes just that cut is a big achievement. That's why we are all celebrating Big Mayo for doing that, because I played the Challenge Tour event twice as an amateur. Then I played the before it was even magical, once as a pro, and I did not make that cut. I think the other player in Uganda who has tried is Philip Kasuzi, has played twice, but he has also never made a cut. So this time around we had 2 Ugandans actually. Of course the other one didn't make a cut, that's why he's not being talked about. David Kamulindwa, yes. But talking about Rugumayo, this has just not come from out of the blue. He's put in hard work. He's been out in South Africa, where he played as well before. He's been traveling. In fact, he's not been around for some time. He was in South Africa for almost 2 months. Then he came back for the Uganda Open, went back, then he came back and now went to Kenya. So all that, a lot has changed in his game. He actually told me he has a coach in South Africa. He's attached to a coach in South Africa. Then even in this event, actually I saw he had a South African caddy. A very senior caddy, because I've met that caddy before.
And it's very of a professional golfer.
So he's done us really proud. And for me, what I can say to the fans out there, I think Uganda as a country should rally behind Rugumayo, because when I was talking to him yesterday, I was asking him now, what is your next move? Of course, he told me I'm going back to South Africa, and hopefully maybe I can get a few invites in Europe, because what I know normally, all the guys who have made a cut locally, the local pros, have been given a chance to play 1 or 2 other events in Europe. So we hope that he gets that chance, but it will still need what? Money to go there, because golf is not cheap at that level when you don't have a pro. But of course he has had I think he has had 2 sponsors that who have been behind him playing in South Africa. Rwanda Air was flying him everywhere, and then also Lake Victoria Serena put in some money for him to be able to play in those events. But it's still not enough. He still needs more sponsors to come on board, so that you can at least be comfortable where you are. You see, golf is a mind game. If I'm thinking about tomorrow's meal or tomorrow's, I can't play. You know, I can't play. And then remember, at that age, he has a young family, so you're out there playing, but also thinking about home. But once you have a sponsor, all that is out of the equation. All you are out there to do is to hit that golf ball.
And maybe just to add on that, actually I was talking to him before Magical Kenya, and he was telling me his calendar of events this year, it's packed.
It's packed,
He literally won't, he'll play any tournament he plays in Uganda will be when he's available. Of course he wants to play the Open, but between now and August, he has the African Championship, the inaugural, the very first one in South Africa, and then he has another 2 in South Africa, and then several in Kenya, and then a few in Uganda. So he's
Kenya is normally that's what we call the safari tour. You see, the safari tour is what we use in the region for the qualification for Magical Kenya. In fact, I was a bit, if he had not made it, I was a bit disappointed with him. He played Uganda Open, but I don't know how he did not pay his membership for Safari Tour. So he's actually lucky that he made it for Magical by by finishing second in the last Safari Tour event. So he left all the points that he should have earned in Uganda Open, having finished second, where he shouldn't have even struggled to qualify. Because he beat Kamulino by 1.5 points. You get it? But having not had the points in Uganda Open, he would have been beating himself up, because that's how you qualify to play in the Magical Kenya Open.
What does this mean? What Rugumayo has just achieved? What does it mean for the rest of Ugandan golfers?
First and foremost, for us the pros, which Rugumayo is a member of Uganda Professional Golf Association, I think we have gained respect. Out there people think that we're a bunch of pros who who are not even making it anywhere. But by seeing this, it's given us some credibility in the golfing society and also in the sporting world. So this is a huge achievement. Even as we are very happy. In fact, tomorrow we're even planning to go and pick him up in the airport. Yes, that's the plan.
What time?
He's landing at 8:30, I think. So we shall be in the airport waiting.
You are in Entebbe. Maybe before you come in, Clay, what people may not know, Deo, you were one of the 3 people who actually started the Uganda Professional Golfers Association.
Actually, not 3. We were 6.
6.
But the 2 who actually engineered it was me and the late Charles Yokwe. We didn't have a body, but we were told to go and join the Kenyan PGA. So when we got to Kenya, the Kenyan said, no, you cannot join because you are not nationals. What you can do, you can only join when you're already a professional golfer. So we came back and talked to a few lawyers and we drafted something. Having talked to the other pros, other matches like Anguyo, there was Stephen Kasaija, there was Godfrey Mande, and who was the 4th? Godfrey Mande. Anyway, we were 6. So we formed the PG of Uganda. That was in 2006. And as we talk now, we're about 42.
And you won the very first one.
I won the very first one, of course.
I mean, what is significant, we are celebrating Ronald Rugumayo as a country, but actually, I think was the only East African
who made the cut. Yes, true.
And that is why...
That's huge.
That's huge because let me tell you, if you go on social media the whole entire week, not just Ugandans, Kenyans, including, I was just telling Andrew there that, did you see Nick Faldo's tweet and Luke Donald? These are all huge names in the game of golf in the UK, in fact in the world, because Nick Faldo I think has won like 3 or 4 major championships, and Luke Donald was just the last captain of the Ryder Cup. So you can imagine.
I like Luke Donald because he said, "You've just won a fan in me."
Yes.
Like you've just won a fan in me.
Yes.
I mean, this is several, including football, Nigel de Jong, the Dutchman. So literally, it was for those who do not understand golf. You just need to see how the world reacted to this first Ugandan ever to make the cut. And now, when Clive says as well, the only East African who made the cut. So that in itself.
And of course, also we also need to thank the Ugandans for the first time. I think this time Uganda had over 100 people who flew to Kenya. Just to support. It was a moment.
And for me now, this goes back to what we talk about on the show and other several platforms time and again, the need for government to invest in the sports industry back home in Uganda. I mean, we always give an example of how many times Rob Walker has to mention Uganda every time Joshua Cheptegei is running to the finish line to win or defend whatever.
And the source of the nail.
And from the time Ronald Rugumayo made the cut, I don't know how many times.
Let me tell you.
Commentators we are mentioning it. So it is advertisement for a country.
It's huge.
So
it's huge.
We still don't see the importance of actually paying attention to investing in sports so that we can probably get more of these global recognitions like we had throughout the weekend.
Now just look at it's a field of 156 players. Multiply that by 4, just an average, because these players don't just come alone.
They come
with teams. Then now you have the neighboring countries all going to watch.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's huge for the country in terms of tourism and amount of money these guys. They are there. Some of them are there for like 2 weeks because they come, like for Kenya, they come out and go to the parks and you know. Then
and why? Because the government of Kenya put it in a way that this is not just a golfing event.
Yes.
It's sports tourism. That's magical Kenya, because it's Kenya Open, so went to the DT2 and then they just packaged it in a way, it's magical Kenya. But like I always say, it comes down to political will, and it pays when you have someone who understands sports.
Yes.
When it happened, Uhuru is a golfer.
Yeah, Uhuru
same guy who started, you know, the challenge, the rally, that big rally event, the safari rally as well. So it does pay, and I could give several examples. It goes beyond the brick and mortar that Ismail talks about, because these are representatives who you've paid nothing to SuperSport, but you know how much you've gained.
I know.
So,
so briefly, what does it take to join the paid-up ranks like you did, and the likes of Rugumayo and so many other Ugandans out there? Probably there's someone who would like to go pro, and they could borrow a lift.
Save me, bro. Don't say something.
Okay, for now, in Ugandan standards, our body, when we started, the 6 of us, when we started, I mean, we were the founders. So we literally said, we wrote to the governing body, which is the Uganda Golf Union, because we're then amateurs. We wrote to Uganda Golf Union that we are forfeiting our amateur status from now on. We are turning professional, and we started. But then, when the numbers grew, we had an exemption of any player who wins the Uganda Open. Once you win the Uganda Open as an amateur,
you qualify.
You automatically qualify. But then we also have a criteria now whereby we give the newcomers some kind of a test. We give them rounds of golf to play. But of course, if you have been on a national team and probably played to a certain handicap, would say 4 and below, you're as good as a pro. Because you just need now to concentrate more. Because, you know, when you're an amateur, you are still divided. You can do so many things. You're not really concentrating in golf. But now when you go pro, you say, this is my job. Every day I wake up in the morning to hit the golf ball. You will definitely become better than that.
Then they will probably also, because their parents watching the show, and there is always that saying, start them young. And I know there have been so many clinics that have been organized in golf for young golfers. Just recently, the union also added the juniors category at the annual Uganda Open. Just try to shed more light on parents who would probably want to have their kids starting.
Actually, you see, what most parents don't know out there, that you actually don't have to be a member of any club for your kid to play golf. For instance, like Uganda Golf Club, they have taken a lead that all students, all juniors, actually have free access to the golf course, and also they have free access to the driving range. The driving range is where we go to train, where the training, he was there the other Friday. So for the kids are the future for any game. So Uganda Golf Club has taken lead that, you know, let's lead and let the others also follow. And these programs are actually happening, and they have been happening in all clubs. It's just the likes of Rugumayo, the Otiles, the Adolf Muhumuzas, the Chinyais, all those were young boys in Toro Club. So Toro Club,
I just didn't want to say
that.
So Toro Club has actually been feeding the national team, because they have had a very good program as a club, and they have encouraged the kids to play, access the club for free, the course for free. So the parents out there, that they all they need is to walk to a golf club with their kids. Like at UGC, every holiday we have programs going on for kids to play golf. Entebbe has, Ginger, all the clubs do have. So it's not
are that they paid for or for free?
It's a sponsored program. There are holidays where those programs are sponsored. The parents maybe pay a minimum fee, just a minimum fee. It's not that you are paying for the lesson, because the trainers are paid by this. We get some funding from the Royal Ancient Club of Scotland, where golf started from. So there's some funding for some of those programs.
Maybe before you just leave that same point that Clive, the question that Clive asked, just use it to tell us about what you're also working on for the kids, because you're working on something which you are launching, I think in May or something. Maybe just
yes. I discussed with him something. This year, I'm launching the Deo Akope Foundation, and the Deo Akope Foundation is purely to pick talent and nurture talent, and give these kids an opportunity to see their dreams come true in the game of golf. So I'm not going to be looking at the kids from the years of 6 and 1, because there are many programs in the country. But within those programs, I'm going to pick those promising kids and then nurture them further, because there are too many. So you pick on a few and set the example that even the others can look at these kids and say, oh, if I do this, I can achieve this. Because like if you looked at the recently concluded Victoria Cup event, we had quite a young a young team. We had, apart from Chinwai and 2 other guys, the rest of the teams were very young.
About
kids.
3 made their debut actually. This
Yes, like Musumenta John, Bwambale from your area again there, Kilembe, then we had Elton from Entebbe, and they performed quite very well. But of course you could tell that they are lacking a little bit here and
skill,
there. But they are still young, and those are the guys we need to nurture further too. So that's what I'll be doing.
Okay, we've got to end, but I can't allow you to go without talking about the Legends Marathon happening April 6th. So what does it mean to you? And we believe you'll definitely be part of it.
Let me tell you, when I was contacted about the Legends Marathon, personally, I first said that where has been the government on this?
Oh.
For sure, yes. No. Let's
flowers for Andrew.
Let's talk facts, because we have seen people die miserably. Someone who has represented Uganda for years and years, he retires, nobody knows even where he or she has retired to. And then suddenly you hear so and so has passed on. Just like that. So this initiative, for me, I am in it 100%.
Hallelujah.
Yes, because soon I'm going to retire. So, but I don't want to go the same way like the others have gone through. You know. So whatever support that we can get, Andrew, for me, this is, I don't know what to say about it, but like I started to say it first, this should have been government. This is supposed to be a government program. Because we represent these countries for years. We sacrifice all our time, everything. But at the end of the day, what happens?
And tickets are now on sale.
Please.
He is already training.
Oh.
He's been running.
Yes. You know, I didn't play the Uganda Open this time because I had a bit of a hip injury.
The first time you missed since 1997, right?
Yes, since I first played as an amateur. It is the first time I missed. So I've not been doing anything. I mean, even I don't look that fit. A lot of people say I'm fit, but they don't know my level of fitness, the one I'm looking for. But I've started running, Andrew. And believe me, I will finish. That one I will finish.
What you can do perhaps,
get a medal.
Just appear with at least 10 golfers on the course. Brian Tully told me he'll run up.
No, I'll bring pros. Pros will come. I'll bring pros.
And
even the club members. I will try and see if a number of them. By the way, we have runners at the golf club there. They are hashers. So they will definitely. I'm going to push at the club. I will push this. I will push this.
And maybe you can actually scan the QR code and you are able to register, which you see on your screen as well. But you can also go to thelegendsmarathon.com. Click on register. Every other thing comes and the prompts just follow.
Andrew, you're in the wrong camera.
Okay, my camera is here. When you go to thelegendsmarathon.com, click register, everything is sorted. You can pay via mobile money, bank cards, and and that's it. And you have your ticket. And then on April 6th, it's a Saturday. We put it on a Saturday so that you have a Sunday to nurse your injuries before you go back to work. And we'll have everyone, you know, Deo, the legends, you people, we the athletes, and everyone who castigates government for not supporting athletes. You need to be at this marathon.
And I took the first step of paying for my ticket. So I'm going to take
the next live on TV.
The second step to start training.
Because you are late.
We are going to end it there. We'll come back and talk about the Uganda Premier League as well as the English Premier League.